Captain America Civil War. What's that about? Captain America Civil War, directed by the Russo brothers, starring Sebastian Stan, Chris Evans, and Robert Downey Jr. Of course.
Yeah. What a damn good time. Like, basically, this is the kind of feeling that I wanted to have after leaving Batman v Superman, in the sense that I wanted to feel excited about life. Like, you watch a film about superheroes, it's supposed to be fun, it's supposed to be comedic and have drama in the right places, and it just has to hit all of those beats in the right spots in order for the whole experience to just feel like you're having a good time.
Yeah, it was like, I really enjoyed it. It was like a really well-rounded, balanced film. Like, for me, I had some pacing slumps, but otherwise, I can't really, it's not a real definite complaint about the film.
In terms of complaints, I don't really have any major ones. Like, I had an extremely good time. Maybe it like rehashed a little bit of what has been done and seen previously in some of the other standalone films and the Avengers films. But I mean, you can't, like, there's a certain element of that you can't avoid. Like, you can't throw so much new into the mix that you're going to alienate everyone by making it like a completely different genre, almost, by making it like too gritty, too comedic, you know, too lighthearted. I think it had the perfect balance of that. I really felt like all of the character nuances that had to come through, they did where they needed to, and then when the humor element needed to kick in, they hit the nail on the head.
At the end of the day, you've got to remember that these films are all linked. So you call it rehashing, but I think for them to feel like they flow from one thing to the other, you can't keep on pouring something different and new and big into every movie and then expect it to feel like it's within the same time, like, part of the bigger
part
picture.
Of the whole. I think if we cover some of the negatives first, just to get those out of the way, because both of us loved the film. In essence, the couple of gripes that we do have aren't major, but they do cover some criticisms that could be said for the whole, maybe the whole saga or superhero films in general, maybe, in the fact that they don't really stick to commitments like character deaths. Yeah, so relating to the near death of a character in the film, we won't explicitly say who if you haven't seen it yet, but obviously it's Marvel. They don't stick to that, you know, like there's a sense of this was an incredibly defining moment of something that just happened that's terrible, like it's a character that we've all loved that has died now or something, but then you like don't really feel the emotional impact of that, because you know, like, they're probably not dead. Like this, there's something that's gonna happen.
They're gonna recover. They're gonna be revived somehow.
Yeah,
just a little bit of therapy, and then they're back up and running and saving the world again. You know. Another gripe for me was there's a romantic link between two characters after the very like sudden death of a main character from a previous film, and you know, you'd think it would play a bigger part in this character's psychological health, and then all of a sudden there's wham, a ton of sexual tension, and they make out. There's some humor, some of Marvel's signature humor thrown in with it, but I don't know, just it created a big disconnect for me, because it made one of the superheroes seem very shallow to me, at least.
Another thing in this film is that they made the decision to make Aunt May a completely younger character. So they casted Marissa Tomei as the character of Aunt May, and she's obviously got that sex appeal to her that none of the Aunt Mays before have had, and there's kind of like that sexual tension with her and Iron Man with Tony Stark. So it's a kind of a fresh feel. It doesn't really feel terrible, but it's a little bit jarring at first.
It plays its part, but at the end, like we were talking about, and I felt like if she was still an older lady, it could have been one of those like awkward things where Tony Stark is still flirting with her, but just jokingly, just trying to be sweet and, you know, not charm the pants off of her and take her to bed.
I think that's it for the negatives. We don't really have too many more gripes. Overall, we are not Marvel fanboys. Cohen is actively a DC fan.
Yeah, yes.
So
Batman's my boy. So yeah, it's not a difficult one. I think I love both universes, but Marvel's kicking ass right now. It's true.
You read your notes, buddy.
Fuck off.
The major positive would be the fight scene encompassing all of the characters. That was incredible. There's There's no like messing around here. That was what superhero films should do for a person. When you go into the cinema, you're seeing all of these comic book characters that you've known for years, all together on the screen at the same time, fighting one another in groups, and they did it perfectly. All of the characters had something really cool to do with their abilities and their powers.
I think like Spider-Man and Ant-Man.
Yeah.
They absolutely stole the show from the rest of the heroes. I gotta say that.
The fight choreography and the CGI blended in such a way that made it just feel so awesome. There was none of that.
There wasn't like a jarring line that was crossed that you could tell when you were crossing from a live stunt to a CGI stunt.
Yeah, and it all felt really organic in the sense that like it didn't feel tedious. There's so many action sequences in films where maybe it's very CGI laden and it just feels tedious. You know that when you watch it again, it's not going to be as thrilling and as cool. This one, I immediately after the scene ended, I was like, holy shit, I want to see that again right now. I want to rewind to the start of that fight and watch that whole fight sequence right again.
And the overall tone of this movie going a bit darker. Some people might have an issue with the darker tone that this Marvel movie takes. That it's not, I won't say it's not family friendly, but it deals with issues within the team, within the Avengers, and I think it's shown how the Marvel universe has matured over the years.
Yeah.
And I've absolutely loved it. I dig the grittier path they're going down now, leading up to the rest of the films. In saying that, it's like we felt the same way while watching the movie. We could not decide which side to be on. A lot of people had, I'm Iron Man, I'm Team Cap, but I don't know, I was jumping from one side to the other. Each one had such a valid point.
Yeah.
And then also with having like Zemo in the background, for me, I love that, just that underlying malice, that menace behind everything that's going on between these characters, and he's tweaking it and he's pushing the buttons here and there a little bit more.
I found it quite refreshing that we didn't have a physically imposing villain for once.
That's Captain America Civil War. There's infighting. It's not Ultron causing a mess in the world again. It's them. So
Day of Ultron.
Day of Ultron.
And then the addition of Black Panther and Spider-Man to the mix. I mean, holy shit, they did the characters extreme justice.
I really enjoyed how they developed Bucky's character. Hey. He played a tremendously key role in this film, and it was nice. It was nice to see him come back and that friendship between Cap and him. So, yeah.
We're going to give Captain America Civil War an 8.5 out of 10.
It's not a perfect movie, but it's a damn good time, and you will not be sorry if you go and see it at least 7 times.
Hey, buddy!
So, Captain America Civil War, directed by the Russo brothers, starring Chris Evans. Fuck. So, Captain America Civil War. So, Captain America Civil War, directed... See the Civil War like a twat. So, Captain America... Captain America...